remember or know, my name is Kyle. For many years now, humans have been bought, sold, and kidnapped and abused for sex trafficking. And today, more than ever, they need your voice. Here's a quick story. Olga winced as she drew back the bandage on her right breast, revealing an infected puncture wound that hadn't healed since a man bit her in a fit of sexual rage. But the wound, for which the 19-year-old Moldavian lacked even basic medicine, is only a small part of Olga's daily agony. For more than a year, she had been held as a sex slave in this town in western Macedonia, where human trafficking flourishes and young girls are focused to endure the sexual whims of thousands of men. Sitting in a brothel bedroom in Vlesta, a town synonymous with forced prostitution that police and experts consider one of the most dangerous places in Europe, Olga said that her owner would kill her for telling a reporter about her state of captivity. But the cruel conditions under which she is held and her deteriorating mental and physical health compelled her to speak out. Her head hung in shame, Olga's dark brown eyes welled with tears. She brushed back her long black hair, revealing a fair complexion flushed with anger at her fate. "There's only one word for this," she said. "Slavery." NBC News. I want to remind you guys that that's just a G version of some of the stories I had to read and the pictures I saw while doing this research. First, I'll talk about what is human trafficking, then I'll talk about how it is done and how it came to be, human trafficking in Europe, and the A21 campaign. First, human trafficking is defined as the transportation, transfer, and harboring of persons by means of threat or other means of coercion, abduction, and abuse of power, or of giving and receiving of payments to achieve consent of a person having control over another for the purpose of exploitation. UNOC.org. Second, many may wonder how human trafficking came to be and how human trafficking is so prevalent in the world today. Many reasons for human trafficking, or sex trafficking as it is also known, are extreme poverty, illiteracy, global population explosion, corruption, promise of a new life, new job, new career, being sold or bought by family or other friends, and kidnapped. There are also people called Romeo pimps, who are men who go and find women who are desperate or in troubling times in their life. They convince them that they are loved and cared about, and these men will then promise them a new life and a hopeful future with them, that they have a job waiting for them in another country, and they will take them there, and at that point they will take their identity and everything they own and will sell them into sex trafficking, or if they own the business themselves, they then become their employees, and there's basically no way out at that point. Many women, if they do and are able to run in many countries, once they run to the police, they're unable to get help because they have gained the title of streetwalker, which allows for no protection. Because of the high reward and low risk, this has become the fastest growing criminal industry, according to HeatWatch, a human trafficking organization. Since the end of the Civil War and the 13th Amendment, many believe that slavery has been abolished. We focus too much on the slavery of the past, but unfortunately, this is a lie that we are all tricked into believing every single day. Now, 150 years after the 13th Amendment has been passed, there are more slaves today than ever in human history, 27 million. Today, slavery focuses on big profit, cheap lives, and easy transportation. Third, sex trafficking in Europe and how it has grown exponentially over the years. There is an estimated 200,000 women and girls that are trafficked globally that come from Eastern Europe. Among these European countries, Hungary, Bulgaria, and Romania are the most common victims. Even though the numbers of cases and instances have increased over the years, there are still hundreds and thousands that are still gone unreported. The reason for this is the fear of beatings, bondage, torture, and death. One of the most terrifying factors about sex trafficking is that 1 in every 100,000 traffickers are ever convicted. One of the other startling facts is that only 1 to 2% of victims are ever saved. To put this into perspective, I want you guys to imagine the entire population of Virginia, Connecticut, Washington, and New Jersey. Out of all those people and the entire population of those 4 states, only 400,000 people would ever be saved if they were all victims. That would mean that only 42 people out of the entire Eastern University campus would ever be saved. And not one of us in this room would be saved if we were all human trafficking victims. These women are forced to parade in front of men, naked, abused, beaten, tortured, and sold for profit and prize. They're forced to have sex with 10 or more men per night. And the most frightening fact is the average age of the victims as well. Can I have some guesses on what the average age of the victim is?
18.
14.
The average age is 12, and that's an average. That's by humantrafficking.com. Dr. Morgan, I believe that's 1 or 2 more years older than your baby boy, and that's the average age of a 6th grader. This 12-year-old age isn't average, as I had said. These kids are kidnapped and forced into trafficking, even at the age of 6. These victims suffer from malnutrition with no medical help, no safe living conditions, no identity, but most importantly, no voice. We are their voice. These stories are too real. Their sufferings are unheard, and they need us to speak up more than ever. One organization which I've been in contact with is the A21 campaign. The A21 campaign stands for Abolishing Injustice in the 21st Century. There are 4 different steps that they take, which are prevention, protection, prosecution, and partnership. The A21 campaign prevents human trafficking through education and awareness in a number of different ways, such as schools, orphanages, and public speeches at universities. They protect these who have been trafficked by building shelters and transition homes. Want to move trafficking survivors past crisis to stabilization and equip them with skills that they can use in the future to assist them with making the next step. These slaves have no voice, and every 30 seconds, a woman or child is bought and sold. That's 14 to 18 in my speech alone. They don't have a voice, but you guys do. There are many ways that you can get involved with sex and human trafficking. And one way is through the A21 campaign. You can donate through their organization. But another way is you guys can just go online and go to their apparel. And you guys can even buy a t-shirt or a bracelet. And 81 to 83% of their money goes directly to the victims. The money is used for dental care, hygiene, schooling, rehab, doctor's visits, and clothing. So what is human trafficking? It's the buying and selling, kidnapping, abducting of women, children, even men, for the use of sex. They have no voice. The A21 campaign is one way you can get involved. Be their voice, and together we can fight the silence.